Bam-a-lam, damn thing gon' blind. Bam-a-lam, damn thing gon' blind. Bam-a-lam, yeah, Black Betty. Bam-a-lam, oh, Black Betty. Bam-a-lam, Black Betty, Black Betty. Bam-a-lam, Black Betty, Black Betty. Bam-a-lam, look here, Black Betty. Bam-a-lam, look here, Black Betty. Bam-a-lam, jump steady, Black Betty. Bam-a-lam, jump steady, Black Betty. Bam-a-lam, last Monday, baby, I was arrested.
Being African American and being black, Latino people are people of color, but they're not black. They're brown people.
She is a woman of color, but she is a black woman.
Okay, that's why I agree with that. I agree with that, but is she African American?
To go along with that point, I believe some national group predicted that we were heading for a national nervous breakdown. The anxieties and so forth. Now, when you put on an old movie, it's possible that it'll be a movie made about some social problem, but a problem that was contemporary 6, 7, 10, 15 years, 20 years ago. And that makes it safe.
Oh, no question.
And again, this is the kind of programming that television, national television seems to be, this escapist type.
Mm-hmm. It's reminiscent of television in its early days, when indeed there was certainly a race problem in those days. It wasn't out in the street. It wasn't loud in our ears. It wasn't infesting our gut, our conscious gut, as it is today. But by God, there was anguish amongst minorities then, as there is now.
I remember that play you wrote, A Town Turned to Dust.
Oh, yeah, well, you see, then you assaulted the straw men who were acceptable as minority groups. Mexicans, American Indians, Eskimos, beaten down, downtrodden peasants under the Tsar. These were the minorities, but not the Negro.
Can someone give me a definition of what black enough is? I don't want to go down the road of the stereotype when people say we're black. Number one, she is a black woman. She's a mixed race woman. When you see her blackness, but she is also South Asian. Her mom is South Asian and her dad is Jamaican.
April, let me listen.
Yes.
More power to her. And I think it's great. That should be enough. Listen, it is enough that she's a black woman.
We are not a monolith.
No.
Exactly. But they did the same thing to Ted Cruz.
No. I think you're not hearing what people are saying. The people who are saying is she black enough, that's bull. That's BS. But to want a distinction to say is she African American, or is she black, or is she whatever. There is nothing wrong with that. There is a difference between being African American and being black. Latino people are people of color, but they're not black. They're brown people.
She is a woman of color, but she is a black woman.
Okay, that's why I agree with that. I agree with that. But is she African American? No. But is she African American? There is a difference. There's nothing wrong with that. No one is trying to take anything away from her.
Let's go down into her lineage.
I think you're falling into a trap of that. All she had to do was say, I am black, but I'm not African American.
I know a time when black people were not this way. I now know so many black people that I work with, that I've hired. You correct them, you got to fight with them. You point out stuff, they argue right away. They deny, they argue, they deny. I'm like, what in the world? And they used to just do it to other black businessmen and women owners. But now I think they do it to everybody.
Let me finish. Hold on. I'm not falling into a trap by that. When she goes down her lineage, many Africans landed in Jamaica and all these other Caribbean islands. So she could indeed be African American mixed with other races. But she is
Jamaica's not America.
But she is a black woman. She was born here.
Okay,
well let's go into Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz was born in Canada. His father was Cuban. This is not about
Ted Cruz. You're changing the subject.
But you know what? We cannot. It was hypocrisy. I'm not changing the subject.
Yes, you are.
She's a black woman. I don't know what you want.
Cruz.
Okay.
That's another darn thing about it. Men used to be logical. They understood common sense. They don't argue back at you. They don't try to prove anything. They just do what they need to do. They do it right. And if they're wrong, you know what? I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I was wrong. But now you argue with the men like you argue with women, especially black men. It's just reality.
Okay.
There is a difference between being Puerto Rican and being Mexican and being Costa Rican.
Yes.
All of them are from Latin America, and that is all fine, well, and good. So what is wrong with asking someone who is of color or black, are they African American, are they Jamaican, or whatever it is, but it's not
she
saying...
She is a black woman in America.
We are saying that. No one is saying she's not black.
Yeah,
we're asking if she's African American. There is a distinction. There's nothing wrong with asking that question.
To a white man. That's all that stuff is out there.
That's not what that is. You're getting the whole black enough thing.
But that's the kind of stuff that people are...
That's not... You're missing the point, April.
That's where people are going.
You're missing the point.
Go ahead, Doc.
Done during just as timorous a time as any other time. We made a comment on prejudice, on conformity, on intolerance, on censorship. But it's easy to do it when you're talking about Buck Rogers isn't allowed to write his memoirs in the way he wants to write them.
Yes.
So he puts on his backpack, his rocket pack, and he zooms over to the publisher. And they applaud and laugh and think how exciting and interesting. Now, it may well be that the inner message may never get through, but I think peripherally it does get through.
White people, you gotta have white babies. Get married and have white babies. Because if you give up, it's over for this country.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.